Pittsburgh, winners of the Big East, against the unbeaten Mountain West champions from Salt Lake, the Utah Utes.
Well, you know, when the season began, Utah was one of the longest of shots to crash the BCS party. They didn't crash it, they kicked the door down. And they're the biggest of favorites in the entire bowl season. But remember this about Urban Meyer's high-octane team. The last time they ventured down here to Arizona, they had their hands full in Tucson against the Wildcats. Pittsburgh has studied that tape over and over again. We bring in my partner, Gary Danielson. Gary, the two quarterbacks present a very interesting contrast.
Yeah, Brent, as different as these two teams are, they probably reflect the difference in the two quarterbacks. Tyler Palko, highly recruited, left-hander, a gym rat, street smart. Alex Smith, kind of lightly recruited, kind of a bookworm, you know, a Doogie Howser type, but they're both on fire. Both of these guys are playing quarterback as well as anyone in the country. One high-powered, but Pittsburgh has sophistication in their pass offense. It's going to be great.
Yeah, we got an interesting coaching story, Gary. I guess we could call this the lame duck bowl. There is Urban Meyer hugging Walt Harris from Pittsburgh. Urban will leave Utah to go to Florida. Walt Harris will be the next head coach at Stanford following this game.
And welcome now to the Party Crashers. It's a Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. Utah winning the toss and deferring. So Furman of the Pitt Panthers is stopped short of the 15-yard line. And now Tyler Palko, the homegrown product, started at West Allegheny High School. And we asked the left-hander about attacking Utah's defense.
We need to stay out of bad down and distances, you know, not only early in the game, but, you know, we need to stay out of bad down and distances, period. So positive yards on first down, you know, maybe take some shots on second down, and we need to execute on third down. You know, it's no secret what we need to do.
In Pitt's last 5 games, he's thrown 16 TDs with only 2 interceptions. Here on the first play, toss to Tim Murphy, who will operate at tailback because Raymond Kirkley is out with an injury. Now the Tostitos Pittsburgh offense. And his favorite target is rangy Greg Lee from Tampa, Florida, 1,000-yard receiver. The offensive line is anchored by left tackle Rob Petiti. Folks, he has been bothered all day by the flu. The coaches are going to monitor him very carefully and see that he has enough fluid. It is now second down and long for Palko and the Panthers, who come in as a 16-point underdog to the winners of the Mountain West. Murphy cuts back to the middle short of the first down. I'm Brett Musburger with Gary Danielson and Jack Root. We wish you all a very happy new year as we continue the BCS Bowls here on ABC. Utah, the party crasher. They, of course, were the first outsider to make the BCS Bowl. Pittsburgh qualifying as champions of the Big East almost by default. Here comes their third down play. Palko splits his backs. Murphy and Furman. Straight back. Time. First down. To the 36-yard line. Greg Lee with his first reception of the game. Palko hits his favorite target for 13 yards.
It's going to be simple for Palko all game in this game if he gets the protection. You know the coverages when you go against Utah. They play man-to-man, face-to-face, all over the football field. If you run your routes with precision, and that is the trademark of a Walt Harris football team, you can beat them.
First down and 10, straight I formation. Play fake, off the action, 2 for 2, out of bounds against this Utah defense. The Utah defense now, and it features 330-pound tackle Sione Buaha, who bench presses 475 pounds. Linebacker Spencer Toon completed his 2-year Mormon mission down in Australia. And at free safety, Morgan Scally, he's intercepted 6 passes and returned a kickoff for a touchdown this year. And Joe Del Sardo was the target on that last pass, and they have crossed midfield after the 19-yard gain. Palko hands off to the fullback. He crosses the 45-yard line. How big would it be here, Gary, for the Panthers to strike first in this game?
I don't think there's a more improved football team in the country, Brent. We saw them early, right, against Nebraska. They really struggled with a lot of young football players. But they have grown. That coach, Walt Harris, has done a job with his new quarterback, Tyler Palko. This is not just any kid. Palko was the Pennsylvania High School Football Player of the Year, highly recruited, a great thrower, kind of a gym rat at quarterback.
2nd down and 8. They run the toss flea flicker. Here comes Palko. Receiver couldn't get open. Palko freelances. Almost back to the line of scrimmage, but this will bring up a tough 3rd down. Now, the emerging force on this Pittsburgh offense has been tight end Eric Gill. He replaced Eric Wilson, who was drafted by the Kansas City Chiefs. And as the season progressed, Walt Harris, who features the West Coast offense and will take it to the West Coast next year at Stanford, they have gotten the tight end more and more involved in this game. On 3rd down, sidestepping, under pressure, throws it away, and the Utah defense holds. Panthers are forced to punt.
It's all about protection when you play Utah. You know they are going to bring people. Kyle Whittingham, their new head coach in waiting, defensive coordinator here for 10 years, comes after the quarterback. He sacks people. He goes and gets them. That's Kyle right there. He knows the best way to stop Tyler Palko is to put him on his back.
Adam Gressel back to punt, standing on the Panther 40-yard line. Eric Weddle is back on the Utah 10. High punt. Pittsburgh could not stop it inside the 10-yard line, so it'll come out on the 20. We'll take our first break. Scoreless in the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. Now our first look at this high-octane offense. Quarterback Alex Smith back in the shotgun. The running back alongside features motion. Goes empty in the backfield. Spreads it out wide now. Marty Johnson out to the right. Fires middle, caught, complete, and a 1st down on the first play of the game. Well, Smith is Utah's first Heisman Trophy finalist, and we asked him about probing Pittsburgh's defense early.
I think the goal will definitely be to spread them out, so run some option, obviously spread the field, get our base plays in to kind of get a feel of what they're going to do.
And on that first play, spreading the field out 14 yards to Steve Savoy.
If you've been watching a lot of the bowl games, you've been seeing a lot of penalties. And first start of the game, a little legal procedure by Utah. They were not set. There was a head bob, a little motion right there, and they got moved back.
So now it is 1st down and 15 after the penalty, and the Utes will start back on the 15-yard line. Here is that motion look, and then using the running game off of it straight ahead and probing with Marty Johnson. Now here's our Tostitos Utah offense. Smith's home run target, we've seen him, is Savoy. Remember now he can catch and run too on that end around. And the offensive line features Hawaiian Chris Kemoyatu, his brother a defensive lineman, and they were the two that led the way out in the pregame warmups. They were talking smack at the middle of the field. The two big Moyata brothers, and they were out there leading the way. Now it is 2nd down and 7 for the Utes and Smith. Again, he empties out the backfield. Against that base 4-3 look, offensive line gives Alex time. He comes over the middle to Paris Warren, and there's a story. A few years ago, number 5 Paris Warren was wearing the uniform of the Oregon Ducks. He was in for 14 plays. Joey Harrington did not throw to him once in that game, and so now in his 2nd Tostitos Fiesta Bowl, he has his first reception as a member of the Utah Utes.
Pittsburgh stays with their base defense. They keep 3 linebackers on the field, and matched up on that play against Warren was a middle linebacker.
On 1st down, Smith chased out of the pocket on the move, and it is at the 40-yard line. So we were hesitating for the official to make the mark over there to see that he was in bounds, and clearly he was. And you can see the backup quarterback Brian Johnson, number 3, signaling plays, and now Urban getting his players back from the sideline as John Madsen makes the reception, the junior from West Valley City, Utah. Now it is second down. Moving the pocket. There's that shovel pass. And on the completion, Paris Warren picks up the Utah for the first down. So now the Pittsburgh defense. And they feature senior tackles Dan Stevens and all Big East Vince Krachunas. Linebacker H.B. Blades, and yes, he is the son of former All-Pro safety Benny Blades. The Miami Hurricanes here with us tonight. 3-year starter Tez Morris is one of the best tacklers on this Pitt team. He's got to prevent big plays here tonight. First down and 10. Utah's first drive of the game. Under pressure, drops it off to Warren. Warren in a foot race has space, and he is out of bounds across the 30-yard line at the 27-yard line. And he picks up the first and 10 on the 28-yard gain.
You call that play H option. That's the H back, and he's going to run an option. He reads if it's man or zone. He looks at the quarterback, and he's got the option of going either way. Look at Alex Smith. He holds onto the ball to the last second and then just drops it off to the H-back. Paris Warren is not the speed guy, but that option in the seam, you have to have the quarterback and that receiver on the same page, and they do it beautifully.
First down and 10. Smith couldn't find anybody open. And the runner takes off, and he is to the 26-yard line, close to another first down for the Utes.
Let's take a look at what Utah has to do to win this football game. They must get after Palco. We've talked about that. When you run a edge-type offense like Utah runs, the ball's handled in space a lot. You have to limit your miscues, self-enforced errors, and you must, against Pittsburgh, be patient. They're not going to give you the deep ball, so you have to take what's there, throw it short, be prepared to run the ball, and make first downs instead of touchdowns early in this football game.
Second and 1. So if they want to take a shot at the end zone, they spread the field here. They can always come back and pick up their first down. And here comes that reverse motion. The double reverse this time with Paris Warren. And he is inside the 10-yard line. It's first and goal for Utah. There is that flashy motion. We've been telling you, just when you think it's going to be a reverse, they'll bring a double reverse at you. And it's 18 yards.
One of the things that Urban Meyer said his goal was when he went to Bowling Green and started to create this offense and brought it to Utah, and we know he's going to take it to Florida, was to attack with all 5 of his eligible players. He says, we want to give that defense the thought and the feeling and the fear that every play, any one of the 5 guys could get the ball anywhere on the field.
Phenomenal red zone touchdown percentage. Smith stumbles to the 4-yard line with the linesman will mark it right there. And tripping him up was Josh Lay, the junior from Aliquippa, Pennsylvania.
Kind of thought Alex Smith misread that play a little bit and could have dipped inside for the touchdown. He fakes it in here. Then as the quarterback bellies, look if he couldn't have turned right in here. Comes in, cuts back. He had the cutback right there, I thought, either for a touchdown. Got tripped up and forced a second down and 4.
You can see John Madsen out blocking in front of him that time. 4 wides. Even inside the 10-yard line. Urban Meyer prefers this shotgun wide open look down here. Touchdown, Utah, Quinton Ganther. Well, it took about 12 minutes, but Utah finally is on the board. David Carroll, youngster who took over the kicking duties because of an injury, nails the extra point. The freshman from Bountiful, Utah, makes it 7-0 as you take another look here at Ganther. It was jammed in the middle. He just took off and made something out of nothing. Very happy that their Utes strike first here in this Tostitos Fiesta Bowl, and they lead Pittsburgh by a touchdown. And now Urban Meyer's kickoff team, again camouflaging where they're going to come from. Fielded on the 11-yard line by Furman. Furman jumps a defender, and he fumbled out of bounds at the 25-yard line. As Kyle Whittingham, the defensive coordinator tonight, he really is the next head coach at Utah. He has been hired, and he had one of the toughest decisions of his life to make. His alma mater, BYU, came after him to become the next head coach there. He told us for a couple of days it was not at all easy, but he inherits this Utah program, and you can see he joined the staff. His father, a very highly respected defensive coach, Dick Vermeil, always said that Kyle Whittingham would be an outstanding football coach just like his father. And it is 1st down and 10 for Pittsburgh. There's the reach, and here comes Murphy. Not getting much as he is jammed at the line of scrimmage. Corey Dodds, the senior from Salt Lake Hillcrest High School, along with Fenene, the senior from Pago Pago, American Samoa.
You can almost see what Walt Harris is thinking here as he calls these plays early in this football game. His strategy is twofold. He has to keep that Utah offense off the field, and he has to slow down that pass rush to be able to throw the ball later in the game. So on early downs, he needs a running game to be able to attack later in the game and get some offense.
Final 30 seconds here on 2nd down and long. Quarterback draw. Palco steps back, and he cannot escape as Fafita, the junior from Huntington Beach, California, grabbed a hold of him and said, "Not this time, Tyler."
One of three different defensive linemen for Utah that bench press over 450 pounds, and they move. Fafita has scored a touchdown this year as a running back against BYU. They move, they run, and they are very low leverage football players.
End of the 1st quarter. They were expecting a high-scoring, high-flying football game. But instead, it's been a bit of a defensive struggle. But favored Utah leads the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl by 7. Well, Tyler Palco is 4 of 7 so far, but he has only found Greg Lee one time in the 1st quarter. And Gary, I guess the underrated part of Utah would be their defensive unit.
Oh, there's no doubt. Last year against Southern Mississippi in their Liberty Bowl, they had 5 sacks and 10 tackles for losses. They can come and get you. The receivers, Greg Lee can get open. It's can the ball get to Greg Lee? That's the problem.
Here is 3rd down. Tyler is forced to run. Can he get it? Dives, and he is short of the 1st down.
And you know, one of the things that Kyle Whittingham learned probably from his dad, or Bud Carson, he said he learned things from, or the late Fritz Shermer, is you go get the quarterback, and you do it by bringing corners from the outside right there. You can see a corner blitz. Safety's going to run out of the screen, nobody to throw to, and all of a sudden the quarterback gets, instead of feeling comfortable in the pocket, has to run.
If he wants.
Go for it again.
There's a penalty flag also as Gressel drills it. And this one will roll dead about the 12-yard line, but the penalty flag was thrown by the line judge immediately.
And this one was thrown right at the snap, so you wonder if someone was lined up in the neutral zone or an illegal formation.
You know, I talked to the officials, those of you who watched Big Ten football this year. And,
offside defense.
Yeah, that's what it was.
That's a 5-yard penalty. Results in a 1st down, Utah.
Big penalty,
Absolutely.
which gives Palco and the Panthers that 1st down. But the instant replay, which was so successful in the Big Ten, and the Pac-10, of course, could become one of those conferences that might consider it in games that are covered on television. I know the ACC and the SEC both sent folks on into the Chicago offices of the Big Ten commissioner to check it out on Saturday, and it was a very successful process. So here is Urban Meyer. Hit lotto in Florida, cashed his Florida lottery ticket, if you will. $2 million a year. He became the apple of several schools' eyes because of the success, not just at Utah, but also back at Bowling Green. And he has led the Utes all the way to a big money bowl, and now on a 1st and 10. Palco fires, and his receiver juggled, incomplete, and he went for the big man, Greg Lee, the sophomore from Tampa, and for just a moment You thought he might come up with it.
Here's Greg Lee on one side of the thing. You can see it. Ball's up in the air, and Lee has been coming down with these. That one hit him in the face. But watch Palko on this. The safety thinks he's going to throw the other way. That was Tyler Palko moving the safety, throwing it to the opposite side of the field. That's when you're learning as a quarterback. When you can move the safety like that and have one-on-one on the other side of the field, you're doing your job.
Here's the blitz on him. Fires middle, diving reception at the 35-yard line for the 1st and 10. And Greg Lee picks up 16 yards on this play.
It's nothing tougher than Greg Lee catches this one. That's a beautiful, wow, look at that confusion right there on the, it was a safety blitz, and Lee gets it. But look at that, crossing the linebackers, and then Scally, number 25, comes right at the gut, and Pittsburgh handles that blitz.
Utah is chasing Lee with a freshman corner. Number 29, Ryan Smith, is going after Lee, and Palko comes back the other way this time, incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10. But let me tell you, there's a young corner out there from Diamond Bar, California, number 29, who has got some big task here tonight.
Yeah, and the Utah people, though, believe so much in Ryan Smith. They say he's an extraordinary athlete, extraordinary instincts, so much so that they've moved their great corner a year ago, Eric Weddle, to safety to get him in the football game.
Palko in trouble again. The pocket did not hold up as Marquez Ledbetter, the junior from Louisville, Mississippi, rolled in for the sack, and that's a loss of 12.
Tyler kind of ran into that sack that time. His tackle was pushing his guy wide. He got out of the pocket a bit too soon. Might have been able to step forward instead of kind of run into the sack, and Ledbetter ran right into it. Coming from his blind side, you can see him come, and as he steps to the outside, gets pushed right into the sack.
3rd down and 24. Three down linemen for Coach Whittingham as the play clock was expiring. Palko forced to take off, and he is down at the 30-yard line, where it will be 4th down. And let's see what Coach Harris elects to attempt here.
Did a good job of getting back into field goal range to at least give a shot at a 3-point play here. Another corner blitz from Utah that time. Kyle Whittingham believes in putting pressure on that quarterback, I'll tell you.
So here's Josh Cummings, who won 3 games for the Panthers this year. And this will be a 48-yarder for the junior, the JC transfer from California. He was hitting him from this spot in practice. But this one's blocked. The special team advantage continues for Utah. It has been one of the big differences in this game so far.
Look how well schooled Utah was as Burnett, number 48, jumps and leaps and gets that one. They knew once it was blocked to stay away from the ball, and they did. The leap in the middle, gets it at the top of the leap right there, and Utah backs away. Great coaching.
Burnett should go out for the basketball team. What a vertical leap. Urban Meyer hands on with the special teams, 5 blocked punts, and that's his 2nd blocked field goal this season. And it preserves that 7-point lead right now. Urban over on the far side. First down and 10. Alex Smith on that keeper, rides the belly like the option look.
Smith's pass complete to Woolen. tackled by number 9, J.J. Horn, and number 91.
Now Urban Meyer taking advantage of it, and down Florida way, Chris Leak. Go out there and practice that shovel, please, my friend. It's going to be part of your offense down in Gainesville.
Well, you know, ironically, that was the play that Peyton Manning tied Dan Marino in his 48th touchdown pass was on a shovel pass, and it's a quarterback's best friend.
That was down at Texas Western, where old Cactus Jack, probably a couple of salt shakers, Gary, on the table down there.
Yep,
at
little
Tex-Mex.
napkin offense.
Napkin deal. Let's see what we can do here. Second down. 9 minutes to go in a half, and Alex Smith on that pitch to Johnson, and Pittsburgh jumps that play. The offense is not going up and down the field. Utah with 135 yards after that loss, and Pittsburgh with 103, and Utah Jack with the only touchdown. So it hasn't come easy for Alex Smith here tonight from Helix High School.
And when he was at Helix High School, Brent, he was 25-1 as a starter, and it might have helped that he had a pretty good guy in the backfield. Yeah, Reggie Bush was his teammate. He could run and he could catch. In fact, one of the things that Alex said, he said, I didn't pass all that much, so I sent all my passes out in my tape for recruiting.
Third down and 13. I was reminded by a viewer recently, Jack, that there's another. There's the completed pass now. Put it in Warren's hands. Warren close to the first down. It'll depend on, yeah, he got the spot, didn't he, with that left foot. I was reminded by a viewer that there was another great athlete out of Helix High in La Mesa, California. There he is, folks. Bill Walton. Man, he's put on a few LBs.
Yeah,
huh?
whatever happened to Bill Walton?
Gary Danielson, that is awful.
You know, you just saw what Alex Smith does so well right there. Rode up into the pocket, third and long. You know, is he an option quarterback who can throw, or is he a throwing quarterback who can run the option? He can do both almost equally well, and he's brilliant, people. I mean, this guy knows what he's doing and understands what he's doing.
Has a 1st and 10 just across midfield. Straight back, firing for another first down to the 32-yard line. He puts it in Savoy's hands.
You know, when you talk to Alex Smith and you say, you know, what really broke you wide open? He says, you know, when I understood what the goals of the offense, what we were trying to accomplish, once that clicked in, I was able to read that defense and know what we were trying to accomplish with each play, check to the right play, and attack where I needed to attack with the football. He said, I grew super confident and let my abilities take over.
That flashy offense dominating the Mountain West. First down and 10. Smith is jammed in the middle. And so Phil Tillman, he picked up that sack, number 91, for Pitt, getting some playing time here with 2nd down and 14. Middle, complete, and short of the first down as Josh Lay, the junior from Aliquippa, with coverage on Steve Savoy.
Let me show you the basis of the pass offense in the spread right here. Remember we talked about that option earlier to the slot? What they're doing is run an option in here and bring in the deeper guy behind it. The quarterback says, all right, if you want to double team that option over the middle, then I'm going to bring a guy right there over the top of it, and that's who I hit. So you hit those options from the slot people, and then you drag the wide receivers behind them and get that high-low pass that's been in football since Lee Gross Cup. You throw a guy short, and then you bring the guy around behind him. So you spread people all over the field, but you use the same base patterns that have been used in football for 50 years.
Alex Smith with another 3rd down. The Utes are 2 of 3 on 3rd down so far tonight. Smith to throw for it. Got Savoy inside the 10-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal for the Utes.
Well, he beat another freshman on that one. Darelle Revis, who is the phenom for Pittsburgh. But when you have man coverage and no free safety in the middle, you're all alone to the outside, and he lets Savoy get to the inside on this play. One of the cardinal sins you can't do if you're a corner. No help inside, and let the easiest throw possible. Let the receiver come inside for an easy pitch and catch.
The success of that offensive line. Inside the 10-yard line, Smith naked in that backfield. The 5 big fellas give him plenty of time, and he fires for a touchdown to Madsen. John Madsen with the Utes' 2nd touchdown of the night. That offensive line, Kemoyatu, Alona, Dirkma, Tupola, and Boone. Boone, the center, the anchor. And what a job they did as they gave Smith plenty of time on this play to throw to Madsen for the score.
Little option play to the backside. Madsen, who Urban Meyer says is a future NFL player, just schooled the DB.
And Carroll, the freshman, tacks on the extra point. So unbeaten Utah under Urban Meyer as their coach for the last time. Up by 14. We check in with Jack with Walt Harris.
Well, Coach, he had some scoring opportunities, but there's still that goose egg.
Yeah, what happened, we dropped a pass that would have put us inside the 10, or we might have probably scored. And we're having trouble with pass protection. We got to shore that up in the second half, and we got to cover their receivers better.
Good luck, Coach.
Thanks.
Still a long time to go. A lot of time in these big bowl games because of the length of halftime. You think you're looking at 2 football games, so we shall see. About ready to start the second half of the Utah Fiesta Bowl, and Utah unbeaten and leading Pittsburgh, the champions of the Big East, by 2 touchdowns at 14. I think Pittsburgh did have a chance to score a touchdown. Greg Lee just couldn't quite pull that touchdown pass in. And while we were away, Gary said to me, heat's on Pittsburgh. They've got to score right now or this could get ugly.
Yeah, and that's how Utah rolls people up. They get a lead, and then when you try to play catch up against their blitzing defense, you turn the ball over and bam, that offense just explodes on you. So Pittsburgh has to stay calm. It's still a lot of plays you have to in the game, but you're right. When you have a chance to score against a blitzing team like Pittsburgh did, you have to make the play. You know, no matter back when we were playing Buddy Ryan's defense with the Bears, it was the same formula. They make you look bad for a lot of time, but if you have a chance, you got to put points on the board.
Well, Jackaroo, Urban Meyer is 1/2 away from Gainesville. Is he happy with Utah here?
No, Brent, he's not a happy camper at all. In fact, he really got up in the grill of his team, talking about only a dozen possessions on offense and complaining that it was penalties that killed several key drives for the Utah Utes. He said defense is playing well. He said we've got to do better. And then he also mentioned, I want to see us play even better in special teams.
They've got a lot of good athletes at Utah. You know, I came into this game thinking a lot about Utah, feeling that they could play with anybody, all these big schools. And when you watch them, they're exactly what you see on film. They got speed at a lot of different positions, and they make a lot of big plays with their special teams and defense.
So Utah deferring after winning the flip will have the first possession here of the second half. Gressel puts it into the end zone. Nagahi brings it out to the 20-yard line where he's down. And Utah's offense averaging 46 points a game. And this the fewest first half points this season. Down the road in Tucson, which was their toughest game on September 11th, they scored 17. Now the Pitt coaches have looked time after time at that Arizona Wildcat tape to see what Mike Stoops did against this flashy defense. Shut it down pretty good in the second half. And the pressure is on here as we start the second half.
Pretty mirror image of that defense, too. Play deep, keep everything in front of you.
Start off with a running play with Marty Johnson, the senior from Sacramento, and H.B. Blades makes the stop. Palco and Coach Harris ready for their first possession. Ball spotted at the 22-yard line with a 2nd and 7 for Alex Smith. Utah's first Heisman Trophy finalist drops it off to the middle. Well-placed football. into traffic, and Paris Warren, the senior from Sacramento, comes up with it.
Let's take a little look at Alex Smith and why he is such a good football player. I'll tell you, the guy has got the smarts, and not just book smarts, he's got football smarts. He has not missed a play this year. He's run the option and thrown the ball all year, and we've seen it. Accuracy is the name of the game for him. 13 for 16 so far in this football game. He continues to do what he always does. Smart decisions and put the ball where it has to be put.
And again, we expect him to declare for the NFL draft, even though he could go back to Utah for one final season. And with a beautiful ball fake, he is very, very close to another first down. His uncle, John L. Smith, is the coach at Michigan State. And at one time, Alex out of Helix High down San Diego way, wanted to go to Louisville. But his uncle, he just said, I don't know if I'm going to stay there that long. So Alex then wandered up to the Wasatch and went to school in Salt Lake, and the Utes have lived happily ever after.
Yeah,
it's been a perfect fit.
Utah felt so little about him early in Urban Meyer's career that they recruited a junior college quarterback. They didn't think he'd be the guy.
First down on the dive by Alex. And let's go to Jack.
When you talk about John L., his father Doug is a former football coach and principal at California's Helix High. And the two of them, when he was just a little tight, thought that he really wasn't going to grow up to be a quarterback. In fact, they nicknamed him Axe Handle because he was so tall and lanky and had such big feet. He'd trip over himself. And both his dad and his uncle suggested maybe he go out and run some cross country. Kind of grew into those feet, though, Brent.
First and 10. Strike.
Good throw.
For 9 yards. And here's Alex talking about not going to Louisville under his uncle.
Scott Linehan, the offensive coordinator, was recruiting me, and he had left that year to go up to the Minnesota Vikings. And that was one thing. And then obviously the major thing, my uncle telling me he wasn't sure he was going to be there for 4 years. And Utah was a great fit.
And indeed it was. And it's second down and short. And Madsen making the catch on that far side. Madsen 4 catches for 27 yards. Warren now 7 catches for 83 yards, the leading Utah receiver. Smith off a fake. Fires sideline. Complete. And here is Paris Warren again.
Well,
28 yards.
I'll tell you, Alex Smith, now watch this brilliant throw. It's the wheel route up the corner, and this ball is thrown behind the receiver on purpose. Watch this. The wheel route, and you throw it to the back shoulder. It is taught that way. Paris Warren gets down there, catches the ball, gets in there. Revis makes the tackle on the play, but what a beautiful throw, a well-placed ball again by the quarterback.
Option look, inside shovel pass. Johnson breaks free. Touchdown Utah. They strike with the first possession of the second half, and an 18-yard score for Marty Johnson on the shovel pass reception thrown by Alex Smith. So Alex Smith now with a couple of touchdown passes here tonight. This is a forward pass.
Watch the lineman get downfield. This play is not allowed in the NFL. The offensive lineman in college ball can be downfield if the pass is thrown behind the line of scrimmage. It works and taken advantage in this offense.
And a freshman, David Carroll, tacks on the extra point.
You see it, once you get that ball to that running back, it doesn't matter if that guard's 5 yards downfield, you can pitch it late. This time to Marty Johnson, called play. You get big Fafita downfield, Fanei downfield, and they get him.
For the most part, this has been a very laid-back, pro-Utah crowd, and folks, there is a story involving the fans. These fans wish they could have gotten their hands on an Auburn, an Oklahoma, or a USC. They do not feel fulfilled in any way playing Pittsburgh. And during that commercial break, they were starting to chant, overrated, overrated. Kick is fielded by Furman, and he is down at the 16-yard line. I'm going to ask you a question right after this snap with Palco and the shotgun regarding this Utah defense. Here's the long handoff to Murphy. Brought down. Now the Utah defense, of course, has dominated Pittsburgh when they've had to in this game. Would this Utah defense, in your opinion, and let me ask you about the Big Ten, because we saw Michigan, we saw Ohio State in these teams, would they hold up against the best of the Big Ten?
Yes, they would. They wouldn't maybe win every game in the Big Ten, but it's very difficult to do that in any conference, win every game. But I've seen them play Michigan at Michigan with a defense like this. We saw them a couple years ago play USC and sack Carson Palmer 8 times. This is a for real defense.
2nd down and 7 for Palco. Drop it off now to Murphy, short of the 1st down marker, so it's another 3rd down coming up. Dodds, the senior from Salt Lake Hillcrest High School.
They run very well, Brent. Their linebackers are cover a lot of space, run very well, and their secondary people are very bright.
Would their offense move the ball against perhaps a team like Auburn that might have more team speed? I'm not trying to put down the Panthers.
I think they would. Yes, I do. If I watch Northwestern dominate the Big Ten with the spread offense, and I think this offense is more skilled than anything I saw at Northwestern.
3rd down and 3. And Palco in trouble. He's going to be sacked inside the 15-yard line. But Fafita.
Great game by Fafita.
So Fafita comes in, the junior from Huntington Beach, California, the nose guard, and he's been a man down there. Gary, he's going to play on Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely. He's 6 foot. That's what he's listed at least. That might be wrong, but you know what's more important? He's over 300 pounds. He bench presses over 460 pounds. And we will see him maybe get the opportunity to run the ball later, because he's already done it once at tailback to score a touchdown.
On 4th down, Gressel. Penalty flag has been thrown again. Fielded by Weddle. Tee short of midfield, but there was a penalty flag thrown back by the linesman. Utah leading by 21 with the ball close to midfield. Alex Smith, number 11, brings him out. Johnson is right there to his left. You can see Savoy out to the right. Johnson steps over to the right-hand side, and they hand to the running back into the middle. Now, we've talked about Urban Meyer, and we asked him why he stayed to coach in this bowl game.
As long as I was wanted back here, this is the right thing to do. And, you know, we talked to our players about finishing the job in our senior class, regardless of the score, regardless of the time of the year, regardless of what's happening, that you finish your job. And my job is to coach this football team through the bowl game.
And, of course, he hands it off to Kyle Whittingham, the defensive coordinator. And now Alex Smith is back. Throws deep, incomplete. So he was trying to probe with the deep game to John Madsen, who's been active here tonight, and Gilliard, the senior strong safety from Princeton, West Virginia, back with the coverage.
And you saw the philosophy of Urban Meyer with this spread offense. He told me, if you blitz, we try to score. We don't try to make first downs. We try to score. That's exactly what happened that time. Get a guy coming in on a blitz, throws it up, and lets it go. Got hit and kind of got those rib protectors on. Let's say kind of flexed his right underneath that armpit area right there.
3rd down. Smith, he can run for the first down. And he steps right across. It's 1st and 10. So with Utah leading now 21-0 in the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. With Gary Danielson, Jack Arute, I'm Brett Musburger. Gary, let me ask you this now. Let's continue on the subject of Utah, but let's change to this offense and Florida. Can you run the wide open spread offense week in and week out against the SEC like he's doing here tonight in Tempe?
I think it's going to be more of a challenge in the SEC, and I'll tell you why. They have more speed at linebacker than he's been facing here, and the quarterback will take more hits. I don't know if a quarterback can last 11 games in the SEC doing what Alex Smith is doing in this conference. That'll be the big challenge for Chris Leak. When he runs this offense, to really make it go, you must run your quarterback. That's the key to this offense, running the quarterback. We saw Drew Stanton try to do it with John L. Smith at Michigan State. He got busted up all year. Can he keep his quarterback healthy?
Ganther, the ball carrier, 2nd down and 4. Battling for a 1st down, and he has got it. Well, you know, it's the other coach, Walt Harris, is going to Stanford, and we asked him why he chose to coach Pittsburgh in a bowl game.
I wanted to coach. I wanted to finish. You know, I always talk to him about finishing. Would be finishing a play, finishing a sprint. Whatever you do, you got to finish. And so I'd be going against one of my basic principles of how to live my life if I didn't finish.
So this is his last game. He'll go to Stanford. Dave Wanstead will replace him. One-time coach of the Chicago Bears. The Miami Dolphins, returns to his alma mater, and we have Dave on the telephone with us now, live here from Miami. His pass is deflected but complete. Savoy, and he is down to the 22. Dave, Happy New Year from Gary and me and Jack here in Tempe.
Same to you, Brent, and Gary. It's good to be on with you guys.
Hi, Dave.
And so, Dave, tell me, you know, you had turned it down, at least the note that I had read. What changed your mind? Why did you decide to go back and coach your alma mater?
Well, it really wasn't the circumstances of turning it down. It really, at the time that I talked with Jeff Long, the athletic director, it really was a situation where I really wasn't ready to make a decision on anything within their time frame. And after a week or so had passed, and they had talked to some candidates, and Jeff and I had another conversation. At that time, I had made up my mind that I was going to coach again. And so after we talked, we decided, hey, let's take the next step on this and see where it goes.
Well, we'll watch this play, and then Gary's got a question for you here. Coach Alec Smith, the Utah quarterback, now with a 2nd down. Firing, Warren going for the end zone. Touchdown. 23 more yards. And an extra point away from 28-0.
Yeah, Coach, would you have blitzed on that one? No, I'm just kidding.
I'm just watching the game right now, just like you guys are.
Exactly.
It's a difficult situation here. I mean, Utah's an awful good
sure is.
Offense, as we all know, and Pitt really. I mean, Walt Harris has done a fantastic job, and these players have really exceeded, I think, what anybody expected them to do this year. They're a young football team with an awful lot of room to improve, and they should. I mean, they're competing the best they can, but they've accomplished an awful lot more than what people thought they would do this year.
Coach, I know you're well aware you opened with Notre Dame and your old buddy Charlie Weiss. My goodness, they'll be like the Patriots and the Dolphins, huh?
Yeah, it will be. That will be a great opener for both schools, and I'm glad it's in Pittsburgh. It'll be. It'll raise that excitement. When you have an opener like that, it really does something for your off-season program and all through training camp.
Palco now with a 2nd and 3 and 5:45 to go. Utah, favored by 16, leads it 28-0. And Furman for a 1st down across midfield.
The Utah machine is rolling in this 2nd half.
Middle, deflected, incomplete. And once that ball's deflected, the receiver is fair game. One of the things that I note about this Utah team is how good these coaches are, how fundamentally sound this football team is, and Urban Meyer stressing the special teams, and that has been a huge advantage for him in this game. And even though I didn't follow the Mountain West carefully this year, I dare say that was probably a big edge for him throughout the regular season campaign. Kyle Whittingham takes over next year as the head coach. He's fundamentally sound. As you watch this defense, like that deflection right there, and bang, the wide receiver is all hit by the defensive back who knew the rule. Palco gonna lob one deep and incomplete. Looking for Del Sardo. Palco fires complete for a first down to the 30-yard line. Del Sardo picks up 19 yards and the first down that time. Gary, a question now relating to the, well, cover this first.
Watch this, Brent. Same route that Utah used. You come out of the backfield, run the option, and you run the guy behind. There's different ways of running the same play. Halfback runs the option. You get a clamp, you run the person behind him, the wide receiver, you run the play. We showed one from the spread and one from two back. Same play.
Palco. Fake from the eye, wants Lee in the corner. Penalty flag. They are going to call touchdown.
They were going to call interference,
yes,
then
they
a
were.
touchdown.
He threw the flag, and then the touchdown call of 31 yards, and the Panthers are on the board.
That was a Larry Fitzgerald catch right there. That ball came down right down the chimney. Good coverage this time. Ryan Smith. Ball comes to the outside shoulder. Watch him look right over his helmet, just like Larry Fitzgerald, and look at that catch. That's as good as you can do it.
Smith was there. Scally was coming over and up against double coverage. So how about the fact that he drops one? Much easier to handle one-on-one in the first half. Comes back and makes the tough catch now for Pittsburgh's first touchdown. And Josh Cummings will attempt to tack on the extra point.
Keeps the game alive, too. They needed that one badly.
And one thing that we will remind everybody about Tyler Palco. Tyler Palco is some kind of a fighter. Just when you think
you can see it one-on-one right there. Comes outside with the stem. Palco puts it very high. Adjustment to the ball, and he catches it over the outside shoulder.
As sellouts, it is also the 9th largest crowd in Fiesta Bowl history. The Fiesta Bowl thanks you.
The kickoff is being brought out by Justin Walker. Justin breaks daylight. Penalty flag has been thrown. And now another penalty flag is thrown. The referee moved up to the 25 and fired a second one.
Dead ball, personal foul, offense, number 51. That ball will go half the distance to the goal. First down, Utah.
Well, that's as bad as you can get. Two
And
penalties on one play.
That certainly negates the 42-yard kickoff return by Walker. Ganther is now out, giving him 5 wide. Offensive line gives him beautiful protection. Deflected, and there's the call. 15 yards and a first and 10. Sam Bryant, the safety from Reading, Pennsylvania, committed the foul.
Yeah, they thrown the ball to John Matson right there. Matson caught that earlier touchdown. Little note on Matson right here as you see him going right. There's no safety in the middle of the field. Quarterback Alex Smith knows that. He guns it right in there, doesn't lob it up, and you can see the grab as John Matson right there on that post play. And Alex Smith continues to impress no matter where he throws the ball. And no little short ones behind the line, and not a lot of screens here. He's done it by throwing his ball down the field, okay? I know those shovel passes are short ones. They've been in the middle. That's why he's 10 for 11 over the middle of the field. But anywhere he throws the football, he has been super accurate.
At the 44-yard line. Smith hit on the release, and it is low. Well, our referee, as we mentioned in the first half, Gordon Reese from the Pac-10, is retiring. But 3 of his colleagues, the linesman, Bob Beal, the line judge, Chuck Zubin, the field judge, Mac Gilchrist, are down there. And they all wanted to pass along the word to Dave Perry of the Big Ten that they would love to come join his press box crew and help out with instant replay.
Yeah, the hot dog squad, right?
A very successful experiment by the Big Ten, and we hope that the NCAA
good work if you can
implements it permanently. Second down and 10. Here's Smith. That shovel pass working beautifully to the inside to Paris Warren. Third down and 1. Smith again brought down from behind, but he has the first down, and Thomas Smith, the defensive end, brings him down. Well, there is H.B. Blades and his father, Benny Blades. They're in a hat over there on the sideline. That's it. Benny, get a good shot of you. Folks, he was one of the toughest I was around when he was down in Miami.
You put Benny at safety. You won't run any crossing routes on Benny.
Benny will stop him.
That's exactly right. Throw that crossing route on Benny. He's right there.
First down and 10, a handoff. And so we asked young Blades, what's it like playing in front of Pops?
He played in this game, you know, against Penn State, you know, when he was in college. You know, now I'm getting the opportunity to play in this game. So for him, you know, it's like, you know, watching his little boy grow up, you know, into a man. So, you know, it's a great feeling. You know, I just want to go out there and I'll make him proud.
And, you know, HB did not show up wearing fatigues.
That didn't work.
No, Penn State got it done. How many passes they intercept that night? 4 or 5 in that championship game.
Look how
Smith fires to Warren. First down and 10. Went out to practice the other day and I watched. You fellas better get ready to run from station to station. That was a no-nonsense practice that Urban Meyer ran. One of the best that I have seen in recent years. There's not a lot of fat. Get ready to work it off in the weight room. Get ready to run early in the morning. This is a no-nonsense coach headed down to Gainesville. Now, I know that Ron Zook did a fine job of recruiting, but that's just part of it. And Urban Meyer is on his way to the SEC. He's been a success every place else. Catch, of course, by Paris Warren, number 5, who we've watched. A little bit of John going on down there.
I tell you, decision maker, but it's more than that. It's athletes making plays. Coming around, he looks this way, and then he gets the crossing route the other way. Watch this, looks to his left, comes back to his right. Nice little route inside to Warren, and then people block to the outside. It was John Matson, number 23. I've been trying to give you this note, Brent. Do you know John Matson did not even play high school football?
What did he play in high school?
Baseball.
Young baseball player moving over to football. Savoy gives it on. Back to Warren. Warren. Touchdown, Utah.
Flea flicker off the screen. How about that one? Never seen that play.
That was brand new, wasn't it?
Yep.
They broke the seal off of that one.
Steve Spurrier didn't even invent one like that. The old ball coach is going to break that one down.
Urban Meyer showing everybody why Salt Lake hates to lose him. And Gainesville can't wait for him to arrive.
That is a wonderful play.
35-7.
Now remember, this team hasn't played in a while, and they run a high-risk screen and pitch and touchdown. Does it get any better than that? That is fun. Oh, man. You know, this is the type of offense where you just look forward to getting up at 6 in the morning. Because you get, if you do all the hard stuff, you get to do all the fun stuff.
For you linemen down in Gainesville, that was a quarterback saying it was fun to get up at 6.
I still don't like to get up at 6.
I know it's hard.
I'm telling you, Utah can play with anybody. I'm telling you that right now.
Take a knee and it'll come out on the 20-yard line. Well, you take a look at Alex Smith and what he's accomplished here tonight. 24 of 29, 296 yards, 4 touchdowns, and no interceptions. Now, Paris Warren, number 5, has 13 catches for 193 yards and 2 touchdowns, and he is the young man who was here with Oregon a few years ago. Kellen Winslow came into this game and had 11 catches as a junior. Kevin against Ohio State in that famous championship game. So Warren now with the Fiesta Bowl record here tonight, and he has done it against Pittsburgh. We start the fourth quarter, and the unbeaten Utes have this one well under control right now, leading at 35-7. Tyler Palko and the Panthers coming out from their own 20. On the run, fires complete out to the 36-yard line. There's Del Sardo wants a walk-on well. Palko did just get that off, and it'll be second down at 10. Buhuha was coming in on him, and Utah a little bit slowed in the first half, but now they have dominated.
Talked about what the keys were for Utah to win this football game: attack and sack, don't make a lot of mistakes, and be patient. They did exactly that. One late turnover, meaningless, 7 sacks, and they've been balanced with their rush and their pass, haven't tried to force the ball downfield all night.
Incomplete. Intended for Kinder. The safeties have been very active for Utah in this game, both with coverage, doubling wide receivers, blitzing. The front, of course, has been so hard to block tonight by that Pittsburgh offensive line. This has been a total domination by Utah. Del Sardo short of the first down. We go down below to Jack.
Well, Brent, as they end their season, if you ask the Utah Utes what's the defining moment of their season, it came in the very first game of the year against Texas A&M. Early in the fourth play of the game, Alex Smith connects to Steve Savoy there for a 78-yard touchdown, put him up 7-0, and they say that's when they knew they had a team that was something special.
And here tonight, that team leads at 35-7. Adam Gressel back into punt.
Oh, there's a bad snap.
And Gressel going to take off. Got a chance.
He got there.
Looks like he got the first down. And let's see where they spot this for a first down. 7 yards.
The snap bounced back about halfway. The fake was on all the way that time. Center kind of led Gressel over there that time for that fake punt.
First down at 10. After Gressel picked up the first with the 7 yards. Sacked again, and there is the record. 8 sacks on the night. And now our mad move of the game, Gary.
Well, you don't see much of this. I've really never seen it. A screen lateral down in the red zone. Pitch it, get the lineman out, lateral it back, the old hook and ladder on a screen pass to Warren. What a beautifully designed and executed play.
Del Sardo at the 45-yard line leads up to a third down. They're coming up without a huddle right now with 3 minutes left. Palko will operate back from the shotgun, and Kyle, next year's Utah coach, Kyle Whittingham, signaling in the defense. Del Sardo for the first and 10, and the clock will stop as the Panthers hurry down, trying to rush another score in.
Tyler Palko keeps his fundamentals very sound, even though he's been sacked 8 times tonight. Keeps his feet spread out, throws on his toes, and he's very tough and accurate.
Got him.
Beautiful.
Incomplete.
He really knows what he's doing as a quarterback. He has been well schooled. Walt Harris can be very proud of that project.
Boy, he
Tyler
had him
Palko.
wide open over there. Greg Lee, number 86.
He held those safeties tight. It was that Tampa 2 defense that a lot of people are playing in the NFL. The safeties are wide. The middle linebacker drop is very deep. You have to hold those safeties and then throw it the last second wide. He did a beautiful job at it, just not quite accurate enough. Be ready, Tyler. Here they come.
Safeties are coming. Hit him on the release. And it's incomplete. Fanene in on top of him again. $35-7 is our score as Palko looks over on 3rd down to get the signal. Here they come again. Dances away. And just throws it incomplete. It'll come now to 4th down.
It's like sharks feeding on those blitzes all night. That time no one picked up the safeties, and Palko did a great job of getting away from it, but had no one to throw to.
So Fafita picks up the Defensive Player of the Game award, we are told, and he salutes the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl committee member who told him about that honor. Co-MVPs for the offense here tonight, Alex Smith, and he is joined by Paris Warren. Warren with a record-breaking 14 receptions for 195 yards. Smith was 28 for 36 for 325 yards. Down he goes. Down goes Palko for the 9th time, and Hackenbrook, the youngster from Bend, Oregon, has been all over it.
Well, if you ask me what you have to do against a spread quarterback, that's what you have to do. You must let them know on every snap that you're willing to bring the blitz. You don't have to bring it, but you're willing to do it. When you're running those spread teams, I don't know if you got a little face mask on that one, but Hackenbrook and Palko have met a number of times tonight.
So as the Utes come up here for the final 2:19 to wrap up an unbeaten season for the little team that could, the fairy tale out of the Wasatch. And we asked Urban Meyer, so we're going to use this as this game winds down, and if you're ahead, what you want to leave behind for the Utah fans. What do you want them to know about the Urban Meyer era?
One of the great goals that we set forth was not to win a Mountain West Conference championship. When I met with our athletic director, Dr. Chris Hill, was to create enthusiasm, get the students involved, and get a passion for Utah football. And we've done that. And to hand the torch to a guy you care about, a great football coach, and to know that program's heading in the right direction, as if that's all you can do.
So Kyle Whittingham becomes the next head coach of Utah, and we asked Kyle what his approach would be next year.
I'm thinking I'm going to spend a great deal of my time in the offensive line meetings and the quarterback meetings, and just keeping up to date on everything that's going on the offensive side of the ball.
And he gets the bath on the far side.
And it's the red stuff too. With the white shirt, he gets the red stuff on the back right there.
That's Utah
Game
red.
of 3, 3rd and 8 at the 34.
So Urban Meyer takes the show on the road again. As they wind down the clock, we want to thank the executive producer of ABC Sports, Mike Pearl. Alex Smith still dancing, the senior producer, Bob Toms, the coordinating producer and producer of tonight's game, Bob Goodrich, the director, Steve Bime, the technical director, Randy Hargrove, the associate producer, Will O'Toole, the associate director, Brian Fay, the production assistant, Juliana Barbieri and Dan Baer, Production manager Christy Bravey, technical manager Mark Towie, computer stats Craig Rothberg, booth stats George Hill, spotter Brian Mobilson, scorebook operator Jason Polstein, stage manager Wellington Wilmore Jr., the Yankee himself, and a very special thanks to John Junker, the president, and Armando Flores, the chairman of the board, and the 2,500 Tostitos Fiesta Bowl volunteers, and to all those Utah fans who came down the range and supported their unbeaten football team. A dream season, a dream come true.
Marty Johnson.
For the little team that could from the Mountain West. Urban Meyer. Looking for Walt Harris as he dries himself off. A 35-7 triumph, and unfortunately, an exchange there between a couple of players. Very, very unfortunate to have it end on something like that. Urban and Walt, friends. Let's go to Jack.
Coach, congratulations. Unbeaten, unblemished, not since 1930 have the Utah Utes been able to do that.
In today's day and age of college football, that's hard to do. When there's a bunch of great football teams out there and to go undefeated with the parity in college football, what a great effort by our guys.
This has been a very special team since day one. How difficult is it going to say goodbye?
Well, it's going to be very difficult. This is the best group of young men I've ever been around. So this is it's going to be hard to say goodbye, but we're saying goodbye 12-0.
Congratulations, Coach.
Thanks, Jack.
Coach, come on up here. They sure don't grow them like that in Salt Lake.
I'll tell you what, Jack, there's a lot of thank yous. I think the first thank yous to our student, the best student body in college football, the Muss. Thank you, Muss. The next thank you goes to the best senior class in the history of Utah football, the 2004 seniors. And finally, before I turn this over to our captains, a big thank you to our coaching staff and the next head football coach at the University of Utah, Kyle Whittingham.
And I just want to say thank you so much for coming. 12-0, Salt Lake City, we love you. This is for you right here. Nice job. All right, first captain up, Morgan Scally. Hey, we love you, baby! Woo! Hey, if I didn't know any better, I think this was Utah, but shoot, everyone's there. Hey, we're just proud to represent Utah. Proud to be here, and this team will never die. We'll stay together forever, united together eternally, soldiers. Utes, that's right. Hey, I'm gonna hand the microphone over to our big man, Sione Pauha. What's up? Hey, we ain't gotta go nowhere. The plane ain't going nowhere. We're here to party, baby. So once again, we are let Arizona and the whole United States know what the Utah Mini is. So we're about to do the Utah Mini. I ain't ashamed. I got nowhere to go, baby. So let them know. Let's go. Utah Mini. Utah Mini. Utah Mini. Mini, 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 Mini. Pasi. Pasi. Pasiwa. Pasiwa. Utah, Utah, Utah. Utah, Utah, Utah. Come on. Come on. There you go, baby.
Congratulations to the entire state of Utah, to the Utah Utes, to you, the student section. Thank you. Happy New Year and good night.